Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. Today I'm so excited. Before we do our giveaway, I just want to mention what we're going to be working on. Have you ever had those last minute projects that needed quilting and you don't have time to get them to a quilter? I'm going to show you some basic fun techniques that will help you get those finished. And then we can have them all ready for the holidays or for whatever holiday, birthday, anniversary, whatever you're making it for. So to start with, we're gonna do our giveaway. It's these cute candle mats. They are so adorable. I love them. I wish they were mine. Oh, so, all right, are we ready? We've got everyone's names are in right here. You can see them. So I'm gonna notch, no preferences.
No peeking.
No peeking. First winner is Pam Duffy. Pam Duffy, is this the one you'd like? I hope. I'm going to put your name right on that. Let us know. And the second person is, we've got a name here, Joni McLynn Buchanan. Perfect. All right, so that name again was Joni McLynn Buchanan. You are the second winner. So Pam Duffy and Joni. I'm excited. How fun. I hope you guys enjoy those. We will get started now. I'm just going to kind of slide those one way or the other. All right.
Extra mic.
Fixing my mic, sorry. All right, so to start with, the very first thing I wanted to kind of go over is how I go about layering. You can see here, I've already got this put together as a layer. There's a yellow on the front and yellow on the back, but you can see there's some quilting going on right here. And this is the quilting's being done from the front right here. You can see that. So to start with, the very first thing you do is make what we call a quilt sandwich. It sounds yummy, doesn't it? All right, so this is going to be my front. If this is my very front, this is what I'm going to be quilting on. This is what I finished on the top of my product. So this could be pieced together. First thing I recommend is giving it some good starch. You can use Terra Magic, Best Press. Oh, there's a whole bunch of great ones out there. But lots of good starch. And the reason I like the starch, it keeps it a little bit stiffer. And then when you are actually placing that with the batting, it avoids having wrinkles in it. So I'm going to do the same thing to my back of my fabric. You want it to be kind of firm. You don't want it to be super loose because it'll avoid the wrinkles, and you don't want wrinkles in your project. All right, so now I'm going to place my back piece with the wrong side facing up. Then we're going to make our sandwich with the batting and then the top. So as we go, we want to keep these layers from shifting, because you don't want a big project. If you're moving it around in the hoop, you don't want these 3 layers to shift on you because you will get puckering. So what I recommend, there's 3 different ways you could attach these. Temporary spray, you could do a basting spray, and you would just simply spray, and then you place the batting on. Now, a tip when you're placing the batting, do not stretch your batting, because if you stretch the batting, place it on your fabric, it's going to suck it back in. So I just place that down so that it's stuck. I'm going to show you a different way. They have fusible powder. The fusible powder is really cool. And then you just, if you're using the powder, you just sprinkle the powder out, kind of like you're salting your sandwich. Lots of fun.
Laurie's ready for lunch.
Right? And then you place your top piece over that, and that is actually a fusible. So then you would just take it to your iron and it fuses in just a few seconds. So that's another way of hooking your layers together. It's a bigger piece for how small my iron is. All right, and as you can see, my layers are going to stay together, which you need. If I'm doing a really large project, say I'm going to do a baby blanket or a throw and I want to get it quilted, then that's when I would bring in my pins. And these are special safety pins. They're curved, they look bent, but they're bent for a reason. And the way you use these is when you put them in, they're curved, so you can just go right down and up. You see that? And they stay curved so that they don't, and then you hook it. The reason that they're curved is then your project can still lay flat. It's not going to pucker it. So there's a purpose for that curve on these safety pins. So if you'd like, you could safety pin as well. So that gives you those 3 options. The very next thing I do to get ready, then, if you'll slide over here with me, is I get my machine ready. So the very first thing I do with my machine is put on your free motion quilting foot. Most machines come with it. If you don't panic. You can still do machine quilting on your sewing machine. You just leave your straight stitch presser foot on, and we'll show you how you can do that and stitch in the ditch. You can still also do some of the fun orange peel designs. So I've put on the free motion presser foot. Now when you put that on, make sure you drop your dog feed. So free motion, drop the dog feed. If you're using a straight presser foot and you're sewing straight, keep that dog feed up. So those would be the 2 differences. So I'll show you the very first stitch. The very next step, I should say, is I traced lines on here with my, you can see right here. You just trace some lines on, and these are practice. Yes, you do want to practice for just a minute. I would highly recommend practicing a few techniques and make sure you have those down before approaching your project, because you don't want to be frustrated. And this is actually kind of fun because it just feels more relaxing. You know, it's not going to be, there's no mistake, you know, there's no wrong way of doing this. So I draw some straight lines, and then I practice sewing along those straight lines. You can practice with your free motion foot, or this is one where you could easily do it with your straight foot. And this would be where you would stitch in the ditch, is what we call it. And I will show you this project right here that just uses the straight lines, that straight line technique. And this is so cute. This is somebody here made this cute little, they use the Kimberbell machine embroidery by number, and there's the trees and the camper. And so what she did is she stitched in the ditch around these pieces of fabric for the tree. See, and then she stitched in the ditch right here and on the outside as well. And then you can see straight lines were traced and then sewn on there, and finished this whole project. I'm going to show you the back so you can see the back of the tree there. So you can see how cute that looks and how easily that was done. So this could be done on a straight sewing machine, but you can also do that in a free motion situation with your presser foot. So to start with,
Getting a lot of hearts for that project.
Oh, yay! It's a cute project.
It's
Isn't
so
that cute? So the second thing I did, and I did it in different colors just so you could see as we come along here. I did this, and it's just to practice curvy lines. So draw any kind of curvy line you want. This is kind of a meandering stipple stitch, if you want to call it that. And I wanted you to see what it looked like, so I stitched here, but can you see I didn't necessarily follow every line exactly? That's okay. The important thing is that you're getting the idea of making curves and making them smooth. So I'm going to show you, the reason I left some of this, I wanted you to see, I didn't follow the lines, but watch this. This was a water soluble one, so I'm going to give that a little shot of water. Can you see that once those lines disappear, it looks great. Even though they weren't those exact lines that I had drawn, it still works because it's smoother lines. So you just can practice those until you've got some smooth lines. And the same with loops. Loops are it's practice, practice. And you don't have to practice for days, just a few minutes of practicing, and then you probably will feel confident enough to finish some of these fun little projects. So I'm gonna just throw this on the sewing machine and show you kind of how I would pull that through and how I would pull this through. So now it would be opposite for you because you're on that side and I'm on this side. But what I like to do is I like to have my drawing sitting in front of me. So I started up here at the top so that I could see what I was doing and I was pushing it away from me. instead of pulling it towards me, I wouldn't be able to see as easily what's coming at me. So when you are stitching free motion, I like to see what I'm doing. So I try to start the furthest away from me, and then I pull it closer towards me. And I'll show you again over here. So now, if you notice, when you're grabbing this is kind of slick. Like sometimes it's hard to grab. So we have these beautiful gloves. There's a great purpose for these gloves. You can use gloves that have just a little rubber, some little rubber balls on them, and it really grips the fabric for you. And then you can easily, smoothly pull that through. The other thing you could do is take a ruler and just put some grips on the ruler. That also works really good. You can just use that ruler and that pulls and pushes right where you want it to. The advantage to the gloves would be you can lift your gloves off and move quickly, and this one you have to stop and move your ruler. So those are just some ideas out there. All right, so I'm going to slip on these cute gloves. I feel like I'm gardening at the same time. All right, so to start with, remember when you're doing this, hands and feet are at the same pace, if you will. When you push on the presser foot, unless you have a regulator, when you push on that presser foot, we're going to start right here. You start sewing, the faster you push your foot, or the harder you push your foot, the faster you're going to move your fabric. And so I'm going to just go ahead and move this through. And as you can see, I'm not following the lines exactly, but I'm trying to give some fluidity to those. Just mess around. It's so fun just to keep going. You can see I didn't follow my lines exactly, but they were pretty close. And so now when I get rid of those lines, it still looks really nice. You don't have to follow them exactly. That's one of the things. I don't want you to feel like, I didn't follow lines, this is no fun, and get frustrated. All right, so I'm gonna start over here, and I'm gonna start here and pull it away from me. So I'm gonna be pushing towards you, but the reason I do that is so I can see. Go. So remember, when you're stitching fast, move it a little bit faster. But if you start moving this faster than you're stitching, you're gonna have really big stitches, and that's okay. That's how you practice and learn. So I'm just gonna put an iron right here in a minute so you can see that. But before I do that, I wanted to show you orange peel. So if you practice straight lines, you can stitch in the ditch. Meanders is great for a fill stitch. These are great on borders. These are great in blocks. And so the way I do it is I make a dot, and then I take something round. I use this for example. So you use something with a curve to it, and then I just trace from one dot to the next dot, and that will give you nice even lines for your orange peel. So I'll do that one more time over here. You don't have to double it. You can just do a single line if you want. Whoops. You can just do a single line along the edge of a block. You don't have to make it look this way if you don't want to. So what if you've got something that's, let's say this close together, this wouldn't really work. It doesn't give you much of an arch. It just looks pretty flat if you. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. So let's do that again. You just find anything that's round that has more curve. I'm just gonna grab this bottle right here. And then when you draw the line, now you've got your curve. And so if you wanna make it go the other way, you just set your thing down again, and there you go. And now you've got your nice, even orange peel right there and right there. So I'm going to just sew this orange peel and show you, and then we'll iron it. You can see what it's going to look like when it disappears. And then I want to show you what you could use all of these stitches to finish. And we're going to start there, and I don't have my gloves on, so I'm going to use my ruler this time. We're going to give this a try. See, I had to stop and move my ruler right there. That's why the gloves are really good too. All right. So I'm going to iron this so you can see the lines disappear, and then all you have left, this one was an iron pin. The blue dots were water, so we'll do water next. I did this kind of heavy, huh? You can see that's now your orange peel, and then here's your little loops. All right, so you can do this. It's actually fun just to try that, even if you're a little nervous and don't want to put it on a project just yet. But look how fun this cute project is. And I can just show you these quilt lines here were just the straight lines. This is an orange peel line here, 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 over here on all the pinwheels. These all had those straight lines. This was the curvy lines, the little circular lines right here. Here we did straight lines again. And this was just a wavy line. So you could draw a wavy line and then just follow your wavy lines. And then this was just that same meandering stitch that we did here, just in a smaller, just a little bit smaller version. Can you see how easy and fun that would be? And look, that covers almost this entire pillow. The reason, and then I was just going to show you the inside of this. So this pillow was layered. We did the top piece first. The second thing we did was we layered it with some batting and with this gray fabric. Then we had it quilted. Once it was quilted, then you add the backing, the envelope back. I know we've had a couple questions of how you would go about that, and we do have that extra layer inside this cute bench pillow. So the other thing would be is if you're making a table runner, this would be the back fabric of your table runner. So for example, if this was a mini table runner, very mini, this would be your top piecing, then you would have your batting, and then this would be your back fabric that you would put together. And that's about all there is to it. Now I have had one more question. Do we have any other questions?
Susan asked what brand of thread you're using.
What brand is this one? This one is Glide. We have Glide, Hemingworth. I use lots of brands. Isacord, Madeira. They all work really, really good. Just, I would keep it a thin one. Don't use a thick cotton. You'll want to, I just use thread that I use when on my embroidery machine, and it works great. Or you could use a really thin type of thread. I would not use something that's 100 weight or more. That's a little bit too thick for this type of project, especially if you're running it in a sewing machine. I have had other questions saying, would you take this in after you've pieced these together and quilt it first, or would you put your embroidery first? That's a great question. So if you were making a big, big project and you wanted a continuous, say, cross-hatch quilting going on, you might want to do your quilting first, and then you can take it and do your embroidery pieces over the top of it, and that way it's a continuous stitch in the background. Or if you wanted it to be specialized or custom, you would do your embroidery first, and then you would stitch around it and maybe echo, or if there's something cute that you want to stitch on top of your embroidered item, then I would do the quilting last. So it's a totally personal preference. Decide what you're wanting it to look like would be the first key. And the second one would be, like, for example, you embroider each of these little items, or you could hand sew them. This is our hand sewing, this is our sewing version. It's really, really cute, of the bench pillow. Isn't that so fun?
Yes.
A lot of fun. So, are there any other questions out there?
Cindy did say, did you darken your hair?
Yeah, yes I did. That was an accident, but yes I did.
It's so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I hope you enjoy this. I hope that you'll go home and try this, and maybe just give it a try and finish up some of those projects that you've been waiting to take to Quilter but just haven't had time to do. And I hope you have a happy holiday, and we'll see you next year. Thanks.